Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about the best new bag trends for the autumn winter season. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this video this year just because it's kind of a fun year. I didn't even know if bag trends were going to be a thing. But I've definitely been seeing some patterns in terms of the bags that are being released from some of the major fashion houses. So I thought I would cover those today, as well as the styles which I think we're beginning to see a shift away from. Some of these styles are totally new for 2020, some are carried on from last year, just a little bit of mix of everything. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's get started. This video does continue on my collaboration with MyTheresa.com, who I have partnered with many times before. They're my go-to for all things luxury. I always love their edits, their styling is great, and their customer service is so wonderful. It's always such a great shopping experience, and everything that I'm featuring here today is available from MyTheresa.com. So I will link everything down below in the description section if you did want to check anything out. So the first big bag trend that I wanted to cover is an all new one for 2020. I don't really remember seeing this in previous years, but it is chains, and this is chains of every single style and size that you can imagine. On the more extreme end, you have the chains seen on some of Bottega Veneta's styles, and these are definitely not for those of you who like your accessories subtle. These are very bold and they're very big. They basically attach some very chunky chains to some of their most popular current styles. So they have their pouch bag, which is kind of the bag which relaunched Bottega Veneta into the accessories world, and they've attached a fairly chunky gold chain to it, but it is more of a shorter one. You also have the padded cassette bag, which is also another really popular one for them at the moment, and they have attached a very large and very bold gold chain. So again, these are definitely not for those of you who like your accessories and your handbags to be subtle. I don't think they were the most subtle of handbags anyway. You know, they were quite statement making bags, and the gold chain just kind of takes them to another level. But I do think that the best thing about this trend is the fact that regardless of whether you did want something really bold and out there, or if you wanted something quite subtle, you can incorporate this trend no matter how you dress. So on the more subtle end, you do have brands like Prada who have just attached a very dainty and delicate chain to some of their styles, and it kind of has that same effect but in a much more subtle way. If you wanted to do it at a slightly lower price point, there is the bag brand By Far, which I am just seeing everywhere at the moment. If you look through their designs, I'm pretty sure you'll recognize them too, because I feel like I see them everywhere on Instagram. They have those really cute little shoulder bags, and they've updated some of their designs with this great little chain detail. Again, I think that's what's so great about this trend. You know, you can do it in a really subtle way, or you can go really big and bold as well. And if you wanted to DIY it yourself, you could probably do that as well. You know, most of us will probably have a small little shoulder bag, so if you wanted to play around with extra hardware, I definitely think that's a possibility as well. So definitely a fun one for the upcoming season. I do think we're going to see more and more of chains. The next big trend is puffer bags, and I did not think that this would be as big of a trend as it's turning out to be. I bought my Saint Laurent puff bag, which is right here, last year, and I thought it was so cute, which is why I bought it, but I definitely thought this was a kind of love it or hate it thing, which I think it still is, to be fair, but I didn't expect so many other brands to be doing this kind of style. But there really seems to be just a wave of puffer bag styles. I am still very much loving mine. I've actually been really actively looking forward to using it. I definitely don't think it's as much of a summer bag, but certainly for the autumn winter months, I think it's fantastic. Mine is now, I think, over a year old, and it's still just done so incredibly well. The style is super cute, it's very functional. I just love this one to bits, and it's obviously a bestseller for them because they have really expanded the line. I may have gotten 2 new other puffer styles from this line. I just love it. I got the mini in the red, and I also got the smaller one in the suede. So you do a whole bunch of different kind of styles and sizes now. Really fun if you did like this particular line. And of course, I couldn't mention puffer bags without mentioning my Bottega Veneta padded cassette. I love this bag. I think it's so cool looking. Definitely very different, and I definitely think this falls into the love it or hate it category. I'd say this is probably my boldest bag. I do think it's pretty out there for me at least, but I love how quirky it is. I think it's so cute, and the leather is just so buttery and gorgeous. They do have these in a whole bunch of colors now. I was getting some questions about whether I think this is a classic bag. I'm not so sure about that. I definitely think this leans more towards the trendy side. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I do think this is slightly more trendy than classic, but I love it nonetheless. I think it's so cool looking. And I haven't gotten a whole ton of use out of it during lockdown, but I'm hoping going into the autumn winter season I'm going to use a lot more because I just think the design is so adorable. I do feel like it is a kind of running trend within these trends that there are such a variety of extremes in terms of how fashion houses are incorporating these trends into their bag lines. So really at the other end of the extreme, you do have Balenciaga with what they call their medium clutch, and I'm so confused by that name because this is the most enormous bag I've ever seen. It's absolutely enormous, really puffy, really out there. I haven't seen or felt this in real life, but it looks like it'd be quite lightweight, which is actually another really good thing about this trend, that generally the bags do tend to be very, very light and very comfortable to wear. So another option if you do like your bags to be really, really bold and statement making, if you did want to incorporate the trend in a slightly more subtle way and even the padded cassette was too much for you, then you do have other options like the Toy Lulu from Saint Laurent. And I'm sure some people will debate whether this does actually qualify as a puffer bag, but for me it's really about kind of how puffy the leather looks. And this is slightly more on the puffy side, I think. It is definitely more of a bulky bag, especially for a kind of smaller style. So if you did want to incorporate the look and you like Saint Laurent, then this is one to consider. I think it's an adorable style. You do get that great kind of puffer look, but in a slightly more classic way. The next bag trend is mock croc, and this is one that's returning from last year. I could not be happier about it. I love mock croc. I think it's such a beautiful, luxurious looking trend. I got my Givenchy Antigona in the mock croc, and this was one of my favorite bags of last year. I thought it was so beautiful. I have had Antigonas in my collection for the past few years, I'd say, and I've always liked them and I've always thought they were pretty classic looking, but I wasn't that excited by the style that I had anymore. And then I got this and it just made me fall in love all over again. I really enjoy the size as well. This is the small size, but mock croc in the Antigona, I feel like it just looks so special and luxurious, and I just adore the combination. I think it's so, so beautiful. They have also released their Eden bag in the mock croc. I think this is equally beautiful. I love it in the grey. It is so, so lovely. Such a cute little style if you did want something smaller but you still wanted to incorporate that mock croc look. But Givenchy are not the only ones doing mock croc, and pretty much every bag brand out there seems to be doing some kind of mock croc bag. There are so many examples. So Saint Laurent are doing a whole ton of mock croc styles from their Uptown line, including their very famous at this point Uptown clutches, and also their proper kind of Uptown small bags. They're doing in mock croc, as well as some of their newer crossbody styles as well. Mock croc just seems to be a running trend, and Saint Laurent are definitely on board with it. You also have Balenciaga doing mock croc as well, and they've done their newer bag, which is the Hourglass, in a few versions of mock croc. So you have their Hourglass tote and you also have their Hourglass shoulder bag, which I actually really love, and it's been a while since I've really liked a style from Balenciaga, but I think their Hourglass sling shoulder bag is so, so cute, and the mock croc, it looks really good. So hopefully they'll produce this in other colors and kind of combinations. They also have their city bag in the mock croc as well, and I feel like when I saw their city bag in the mock croc, it really confirmed my suspicion that all you have to do to really refresh a kind of classic looking bag, which has been around a little while and maybe isn't that exciting anymore, is redo it in a mock croc, and it instantly gives it such a lift. It's what I think about my Antigona. It really feels like it's a whole new bag. The city bag looks fantastic in the mock croc. It's just a great combination which instantly makes any bag look so timeless, beautiful and luxurious. And now onto a trend that I'm very, very on board with. It is beautiful brown, caramel, tan, nude shades, any color within that kind of family. Again, this is one that we really began to see towards the end of last year, and it's just carrying through. I feel like I did see it more and more even in the warmer months. I think we're just gonna see so much more of it for autumn, winter, and that goes not just for bags, but for clothing as well. I'm seeing these beautiful kind of neutral tones, and they are quite kind of pared back, but combined together, I think they just look so incredibly beautiful. I did just get the Saint Laurent bag. This is the puffer style. I do feel like it looks a bit less puffer in the suede. This is all suede in this absolutely gorgeous tan color. I think it's so lovely, especially with the gold hardware. I am so excited about this bag. I am just fully in love with this entire line. I think it's so great. But Saint Laurent do so many beautiful kind of tan and brown shades. I was really looking for something in this color combination, and when I looked at Saint Laurent's new offerings, I was just spoiled for choice. I ultimately went for this one because I knew I love the puffer style so much, but they have their camera bags, they have crossbodies, they just have so many different styles in these really beautiful rich tones for autumn winter. As for other bag brands that are doing this trend, I would say just pick your design house, because it seems like everyone is doing this trend. I know I clicked on Loewe and looked at their offerings, and it seemed like over 50% of the bags that they had were these beautiful brown leather shades and tones. You know, they had tans, they had deep browns, just a whole variety, and it seemed like it was on every style, from their puzzle bag to their hammock to their bucket bags, just so many different beautiful versions. Prada, another brand who I think are nailing it in terms of these beautiful shades. They've released some of their, I guess, kind of medium-sized tote bags in beautiful shades of brown and tan, kind of a mix of both. Really lovely. Their leather always looks so beautiful, and they have just the most stunning brown shades at the moment. And my final bag trend are small shoulder bags, which are kind of 90s-esque. And these can come in a few different sizes, but usually they are more on the smaller side, not convertible, and usually just with a small strap that you either hold on your shoulder or you carry in your hand. And I 100% credit Prada with this trend resurgence. They were doing these back in the day. They were very popular, usually in their nylon fabric. So if you had one of these bags and you kept hold of it, then no doubt you'll be very happy, because it is fully come full circle and they now seem to be very in vogue again. So Prada are releasing a few versions of these, and you see a lot of nylon in their collection now, and they have released some of their smaller shoulder bags, either with the chain or just kind of without the chain. It seems to be very much a throwback to their archives, but it is a really fun trend, and I do always love their nylon fabric. And then on the higher price side, you do have Gucci with their new Horsebit release. This is their new collection, and it's definitely a different direction from the Marmont lines and the Dionysus line. I do think it's a lot more pared back, more of a focus on the quality of the materials with beautiful smooth leather. They have that gorgeous hardware as well, that really beautiful horsebit design. It does have that thicker strap, which is another trend that we're seeing a lot, and overall I think this collection is beautiful. I do wish it was maybe a little bit smaller, but they might release other versions within this collection. It does seem to be a really big push for them. And then finally, I thought I'd very quickly cover the bag trends that I think we're going to be seeing a lot less of over the next few months. Number one on this list, I'm sure isn't going to come as a surprise to anyone, but it is larger, more structured work bags. I saw a distinct lack of these from the major fashion houses, which of course makes total sense because so many people aren't back to work, so there is less of a need for work bags. There's definitely more of a shift towards smaller, more practical crossbodies and just smaller bags in general. I'm not sure when that's going to change. I'm not really sure how quickly production lines react to this, so it could also be just a coincidence, but I definitely saw a lack of large work bags for the coming autumn winter season. And then linked to that, I also saw a distinct lack of tote bags, and I know lots of people think that work bags and tote bags are kind of the same thing, and even though I do use my tote bags for work usually, I also use my tote bags for every day, so I definitely hope this isn't a permanent change. The ones I did see seem to be re-releases of kind of older classic styles and not really any new versions, again with more of a shift towards smaller crossbodies and more practical styles for the current situation. And then finally, the last trend, which I think we're going to be seeing less of, are those really bold in-your-face design logos that we saw so much in 2019. I actually thought it would continue for a little while longer, but for the coming seasons I'm really seeing much more pared back designs, and so many brands were doing these, you know, from Valentino to Fendi to Balenciaga. They're really going for those very big, very obvious logos, and I'm just not seeing it as much. And again, I don't know if that's a reflection of the ongoing climate, people just wanting something a little bit more subtle and less in your face, but there definitely seems to be more of a shift towards more subtle design. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the trends I covered in today's video in the comment section below. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Did I miss anything out? Let me know your thoughts. I will link everything I featured in the description section below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.